Hey everyone, this is Mr. T with Quick Labs Heroes for Hire, back at you again with another one of those how you do that video. In this video, we're going to be talking about strategies and creating branded surveys for your businesses. So let's see how you do that. Here it is, the old school, old-fashioned survey. Standard questions, yes or no, on a sheet of paper. And then we've taken these surveys and we've graduated them over time. And a lot of you are already familiar with Google Forms, and that's one way, and a great way, to survey people. Today's lesson is going to pretty much be about that. But let's take a quick look. Then it really didn't get much better as we started to move the surveys online, but they still had that same look and feel. And when you think about it, filling out a survey is probably not one of the best things that you love to do with your day, and most people are pretty much the same way. Then comes along Google Forms, and Google Forms gives us the real simple ability to be able to add some real simple colors and create a survey that gives us data that we can take action on. A little bit better, pretty much a pretty good upgrade, but we can do better still. So we can take advantage of background colors, and we can take advantage of adding a lot of things to make a survey to be a little bit more fun. And I think that's really the goal here, is to create a survey that's branded, that is similar and looks like your business, but also a little bit interactive and engaging, making a survey that people actually want to fill out and complete. And then once you put together a pretty good survey, and this one is nice and clean and well-rounded, actionable items. And I think these actionable items you're going to be learning more about in class. It's one thing to survey people and to ask your customers information about sales and menu choices and sizes and pricing. And then once you collect all that data, it's like, okay, now what do I do? You should be learning what to do with that data in your statistics and entrepreneurship classes. So that is the goal here. Creating a survey that's branded so they know that it's from you and your business and it's legitimate, and then creating it in a way where it's not a chore for them to fill out your survey. But before you actually can create a survey, one of the things that you may want to consider also and think about, especially for those of you that are attending advanced online marketing classes, or if you have someone in your team who is taking advanced online marketing, coming up with an ad so you can get people to your survey in the first place. So sometimes it's twofold. It's not just about creating the survey, but you also have to think about a strategy for getting people there. And this is like one example of asking people to take a survey, and you can see that they have a really good captivating graphic or image that first stops you, and then you want to see what this image is about, and then you read. So this is a great example of a branded ad to get people over to your survey in the first place. And then of course you can always, as you can see here, offer discounts, offer deals, make it a contest. They could be entered into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Starbucks or something like that. So reward people. There's nothing wrong with having that as a strategy for getting people to fill out your survey and to fill it out completely in order to be entered to win the gift card. So now we're going to talk about Google Forms and branding a Google Form, and we'll look at some examples of ones that we created at Quick Labs. And the thing to think about and to consider is adding images to your surveys. So the images can be that thing that captures someone's ability to connect to your business, or your business's mission. So let's just say that your business is creating a product, and then $2 from every sale of your product goes to feeding children, or goes to feeding the homeless, or something like that, then your imagery should really be imagery or photo images that show images of things where good is happening. It could also be images of your team, showing your team actually together or in action, or it can be completely branded with your business's brand. And when you're adding images to a Google survey or Google form, the dimensions that you have to work with right here in front of you are 1600 pixels wide by 400 pixels tall. So consider, if you have photos or images, that you're going to crop them down to this size, potentially scale them and crop them down to this size. So consider knowing the dimensions when you're going to add images to a Google form. So here are some examples in our gallery of forms that we've created. When you go to Google Forms, most of you already know that there's a gallery. So there is a lot of content and design styles already here to get you started in Google Forms. Let's take a look at this one. So we're really talking about taking advantage of this header space across the top, taking advantage of the colors, changing the background color of your form as well. This is a great example of a survey that describes the survey and its contents, what the survey is about, an open-ended question, very, very short survey. And then above all else, making sure you're collecting the appropriate data that you want to collect from your customer, including making sure that you're capturing your customer's email address, first name, and last name. Making your surveys and Google Forms branded. This makes it a much more warm and inviting form or survey to fill out. And most of you may already be familiar with the gallery. So let's take a look here. Here's an example of a few surveys that we've done. Let's take a look at one of the surveys that we did for our nonprofit called LearnSteam.org. Now keep in mind, you don't want to overdo it with the images. You just want to make sure that you're capturing 1 or 2 images that really captivate your messaging or your brand, something that taps into the emotions of your customers or users, something that can even make them giggle, or just, again, to make sure that they understand this is your business's form they're filling out. So here we captured at the very top some images of what this survey is about. Do people want to buy our t-shirts as fundraisers? And what do they think about the pricing? So we start off at the very top, they're understanding what this survey is about and who it's from, because the logo branding is in each of the t-shirt designs. We have a background color that's also captivating and warm. It describes what this survey is all about, or this Google form is about. And then we get right into collecting their email addresses. And then we have an example, once we sell these shirts online, what that's going to look like. So now they can relate something to the data that they're filling out. And that is really what it's all about, making sure that this information is relatable. And when your customers are filling out this survey, they're excited for you to get back to them again. So we highly recommend making sure that your surveys are not black and white and plain, or just a single color and some type. And this would be an example of our survey. But making sure that it looks fun and inviting, making sure that it matches your brand, or make sure that it has images or photos that are captivating. Some of the students in our advanced online marketing classes will be learning how to use MailChimp. MailChimp is a service that allows you to do branded email marketing. But one of the services that MailChimp also offers is your ability to create some really powerful surveys. And these surveys have a lot more tools in it when surveying than Google Forms. So when I click on the Create option, you can see all of my options here. And one of those options is to create a survey. Now, typically, any teams or students who are taking our advanced online marketing classes, they're going to be creating these accounts in MailChimp using your business's Gmail account. So you're signing up, making sure that everyone on your team has access, so that you're going to have the ability for your team members to have access to the data. And in case one person leaves the team and moves on, or someone can't attend an event, every member on your team needs to have access to the data. So you're going to use the team's Gmail in order to sign up and subscribe for the MailChimp service. They do have a free version that's very, very powerful that will allow you to do a bunch in their freemium model that will allow your team to take some really good surveys. But most of you will be able to do some really powerful things just by taking full advantage of Google Forms, and make sure that you're including images, photos. And here's the thing to think about. There has been a new move lately over the past, I would say probably 10 years, where now that surveys are online, keeping in mind that most of your customers are going to fill out this survey on the go on their phones. Sometimes there's 5 data points that you might want to collect from a customer. What do you think about our business? What do you think about our company colors? What do you think about pricing? Would you attend our location if we were located here? Whatever your business's things are that you want to know about a customer. So instead of dumping all of those things into one survey, you kind of send one question. That's kind of been this new move where sometimes people don't really want to fill out a survey, especially if it's long, especially if it's intimidating. And it's been this new move to, okay, we want to know these 5, 10, or whatever number of things about our customers or from our customers. So let's just send them one question, and then you collect the data. And then you send them the next thing that you want to know, a 1-question survey. It can be very powerful, and you can get a lot more people filling out a 1-question survey as opposed to a survey that where you're trying to load it up with everything you want to know about the customer. Instead, consider shorter, smaller micro surveys. And in these micro surveys, you can get a lot more responses, and you have a greater ROI, or a return on your investment that you have in creating these surveys in the first place. All right, everyone. So that's the end of this lesson. So this is how we do it. Whenever we're creating a survey, we make sure that it's branded. We understand the dimensions at the very top. We understand how to use photos and imagery so that people can, in this case, see what the website's going to look like when they go to actually purchase one of the t-shirts. They can also see examples of people wearing the shirts as well. So we understood that imagery is a part of our surveys, including adding emojis in some of our questions. So make sure that your surveys are short, fun, straight to the point, and branded. Catch you guys in the next one.